The severe weather threat for this Sunday has officially been upgraded, and forecasters are paying close attention to a hazard that often gets overlooked: large hail. This isn't a typical storm warning about wind or tornadoes. The real concern this time is the potential for hailstones large enough to cause serious damage, and it caught many people off guard. Sunday's risk has been raised to a level 2 out of 5, classified as a slight risk. That translates to a 15% chance of severe weather occurring within 25 miles of your location. Just 24 hours ago, that number was lower. The upgrade reflects how quickly conditions can shift during spring storm season. What makes this particular setup unusual is that the threat isn't being driven by rich, deep moisture. In fact, moisture levels are actually limited. Instead, forecasters are focused on cold air sitting high up in the atmosphere. This creates what meteorologists call steep lapse rates, a sharp drop in temperature as you move higher in the sky. That kind of environment allows hailstones to grow much larger than they normally would, even inside weaker storm systems. What that means for you on the ground is this: a storm may roll in that looks completely ordinary. No dramatic skies, no warning signs most people would recognize, and then suddenly golf ball-sized hail is falling from the sky. Hail that size can shatter car windows, punch holes in roofing, destroy crops, and seriously injure anyone who hasn't made it inside yet. The primary areas under the Sunday hail threat include Ohio, western Pennsylvania, southern Illinois, and Indiana. Storms are expected to develop during the afternoon hours and continue well into the evening and overnight. If you live in any of these states, the time to prepare is now, not when you hear the first rumble of thunder. When it comes to staying safe during a hail event, the message is simple: get indoors the moment hail begins. Move away from windows and glass doors. Do not step back outside until you've confirmed the storm has fully passed your area. Hail can resume without warning, and a second round is often just as dangerous as the first. Before Sunday's main event, a separate weather system is already active. A marginal risk, that's level 1 out of 5, is currently in place across West Virginia, southwestern Pennsylvania, Ohio, Kentucky, and western Maryland. The main concerns with this system are damaging wind gusts and small hail. There's a very low but non-zero tornado risk attached to this setup as well. The good news is that storm energy associated with this system is expected to fade after sunset, and, conditions should calm down heading into Saturday. While the Midwest and Ohio Valley focus on storm threats, a striking contrast is playing out across the rest of the country. The western United States is, honestly, baking in what can only be described as summer in March conditions. Parts of the Southwest are recording temperatures above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Desert cities are shattering heat records that have stood for over 130 years. Salt Lake City is flirting with all-time March highs, and Denver has climbed close to 75 degrees. Meanwhile, areas near the Canadian border in Montana are touching 80 degrees. Contrast that with Fargo, North Dakota, sitting near 10 degrees Fahrenheit. The United States is experiencing both extremes of the temperature spectrum at the same time. It's a weather pattern that really highlights just how dramatically conditions can differ from one region to another during the transition between winter and spring. The Northeast is firmly stuck in winter's grip. 4 separate storm systems are lined up to hit New England before the calendar flips to April. The first of these systems is already delivering snow to interior New England, while areas to the south are seeing rain. A second Clipper system arrives Sunday, bringing another round of snowfall to the region. A stronger low-pressure system is expected mid-week, likely producing additional accumulation. And yet another round of snow is on the table for late in the week. Temperatures across the Northeast remain stubbornly below average, which means the snow that falls is sticking. Some areas could see significant totals pile up before March is over. If you're in New England or upstate New York, plan accordingly and don't let the calendar fool you. April may be close, but winter isn't done yet. Out west, the heat is making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Temperatures climbing above 100 degrees in desert communities during the third week of March is not normal. This is midsummer heat arriving months ahead of schedule. Records that date back 130 years are being broken across parts of the Southwest, and relief doesn't appear to be on the way anytime soon. the Pacific Northwest faces its own challenge, as heavy rain combines with snowmelt to create flooding concerns across parts of the region. Drought is also becoming a serious conversation in parts of the country. Southern Texas is dealing with severe drought conditions, while parts of Georgia and Florida are classified under extreme drought. Rainfall through the rest of March is expected to be limited across these areas. The dry soil conditions present another problem. Even when rain does eventually arrive, parched ground often can't absorb it fast enough to benefit crops or restore water supplies immediately. Looking ahead to the start of April, both major long-range weather models are flagging a significant pattern shift. Right now, the country is experiencing a predominantly west-to-east flow in the upper atmosphere, which keeps severe weather relatively contained. That is expected to change. As April begins, models indicate a shift to a south-to-north flow, which would pull warm, moisture-rich air up from the Gulf of Mexico and send it on a collision course with cold air dropping down from Canada. That collision is the recipe for organized, widespread severe weather. When Gulf moisture meets cold Canadian air in the plains and Midwest, the result is often significant storm activity, the kind that produces tornadoes, large hail, and damaging wind on a regional scale. Forecasters are watching this pattern shift closely, and if it holds, early April could bring a very active stretch for severe weather across the central United States. There's also a shorter-term storm window to keep on your radar. Signals are emerging for a potential severe weather event around March 26th and 27th. The details remain uncertain at this range, but current data suggests damaging winds and possible hail could be the primary concerns. USA Storm Center will continue to monitor this window and provide updates as confidence improves. The bottom line is this: the next 10 days are packed with significant weather stories from coast to coast. Sunday's hail threat deserves your full attention if you're in the Midwest or Ohio Valley. The Northeast should prepare for a prolonged stretch of wintry weather with multiple systems in the pipeline. The West is dealing with historically early and intense heat, and the drought situation across the South is quietly worsening. And as we approach the calendar boundary between March and April, the entire country may be heading into a more active and volatile period for severe weather. USA Storm Center will stay on top of every one of these developing situations. Stay weather aware, stay prepared, and share this report with anyone who needs to know.